Apparently, the entire Church of St. Louis is closed today. All the priests are here. And I speak for the family. Thank you for your presence. I'm going to talk a little bit about Jack before he was a priest. But I realized there never was that time. My name is Pete Costello. I'm the one from Orlando. I know that's how you know us, because that's how Jack talked about us. My sister is here she's the one from Fort Myers. And my brother's he's the one from Scottsdale. So we're all here, as is everybody else in his family. His family here and here. I'm Jack's first altar boy. Jack was ordained on May 20th, 1972. All that did was make it official. He really became a priest in the second grade. Sister Mary John, of course Jack remembered her name. She had vestments made for second graders. And she asked Jack one day to act as the priest for a demonstration of the Mass. Jack said immediately he knew. He went home, he told Mom, I'm going to be a priest. He was a priest at that moment. He never once wavered, never once. I'm here to testify. I've known him my whole life. He's always a priest. I became Jack's acolyte. I'm his younger brother. I knew early on that he was special. How did I know? If I would ever get in trouble at school, the nuns would remind me by saying, "You're Jack Costello's brother?" That happened a lot. So, if Jack needed an altar boy, I'd be his altar boy. We grew up in Chicago, as you all know, South Side, White Sox fans. We've been anti-Cubs forever. One summer, probably in 1955 or 1956, we discovered in our garage in Chicago that there was a ladder that led up to an attic. There was no railings, just a hole in the floor and a ladder to get up there. It was a little dicey to get up there and a little scary. But we did it, and we decided to start having a club, and the initiation was you got to climb the ladder and get up onto the attic. Well, it really got Jack's imagination going, so what he decided to do, let's have a school. He's always a teacher. So we did, and eventually grew to about 20, 25 kids, and my mom realized there was no food in the refrigerator and somebody's been using the bathroom all day. She came out to the garage and said, "What in the world is this?" And just a small gathering of friends, and she got a call from a neighbor, Mrs. Toulis. Her husband was a classmate of Dad's at Notre Dame. And she said, "Kate, thanks for taking my kids to summer camp. It's really great." Mom put the kibosh on that right then and there. But it didn't stop Jack. So he and I got together, and Jack would dream up what we would do, and then we'd figure out what we would need for materials. We'd go out and get them, and we would build. I want to make sure I get this in order. First was a railroad station. You know how Jack felt about railroads. So we had to build gates, so if there was ever a pedestrian, that happened to be the time our bicycle trains would be going out the driveway, so we could stop them at the gate. We had a hospital. Guess who the doctor was? We had a firehouse. You know who the chief was. And the best one we had was an airport. And Jack, of course, was in the tower. But we bought vigil lights and had them up and down the alley so the planes would come in and land, and that was the best one of all. It was a great summer. But every summer, every single summer, we would head to New Jersey, pack 5 kids in a car, no air conditioning. Mom and Dad both smoked. You think of it today, it's a nightmare. It wasn't for us. We'd go spend 2 or 3 weeks with our cousins, the Kellys. We loved it. There's 7 Kellys, 5 Costellos, 3 weeks of nothing but fun in New Jersey. We all stayed in the same house. Kids slept in the basement, cots, bedlam. It was total bedlam. It was so much fun. We realized then the meaning of family and how much it meant to my mom and dad. We did it every summer, every single summer, and it was great. Then came the summer of 1964, and guess what was going on in New York City in 1964? The World's Fair. One of Jack's favorite things. You know what I'm talking about. So Jack and Pat and I would go into New York City from North Jersey almost every day. We'd get on a bus, go to the train, go into the city, catch the subway, go to the World's Fair. We did it every day. Pat and I couldn't do it. We had no idea how to get to New York City. Of course, Jack did. Then, towards the end of that summer, my parents came to New York, or went to New York City because Dad was going to entertain some customers. So Jack and I left the World's Fair and got in a cab. We hailed a cab. Jack told him where the hotel was, and off the cab goes. Well, he gets maybe a block, and Jack says, "Where are you going?" He said, "The hotel, whatever." Jack said, "That's not the way." Yeah. Jack told a New York cabbie how to drive around in New York. So the cabbie dropped us off at the hotel and said, "Geez, you know, I didn't know that was the way to get to the hotel." Really? When Jack was diagnosed, in February of 2021, he told you, his St. Peter's family, on the following Sunday. He wanted you to know. The outpouring of food, drink, desserts, oh, the desserts, and prayers. Millions and millions and millions of prayers. It was incredible. Jack went through the 5 stages of grief, one of which was anger. He was angry. He wasn't as angry as me, and I don't think he was as angry as you, but he was angry. I was really angry. Then he wondered why millions of prayers weren't being answered. And he said to people, "Don't forget when you pray, tell him this is Jack Costello at 2015 Meadow Tree, Kirkwood Town, because I think he's given it to another Jack Costello. Then St. Peter's had a healing mass for Jack. You all were probably there. At that mass, Jack knelt down in front of Father Mike to get his blessing. Jack said it was at that point that he realized this is the hard part, that God had been answering his prayers. And he realized it at that point. That's when he said, "Cancer is my friend." The reason he said that is because he realized that all the love he gave to you, he was getting back in spades. The cards, the letters, the food, most importantly, the company. Jack loved it. Look to your right and left. There's an angel there. We love this church. Father Jack's doctor, Dr. Melissa Reimers, his oncology doctor at Siteman Center. Barnes Jewish. Called to tell me what an honor it was to meet and care for him. She and Sarah McCaffrey, his advocate, the best. And Christy Heisman, who helped us with the many, many drugs that Jack had to take. They're angels, certifiable angels. Dr. Reimers called me and said what an honor it was, and we talked for a while. And she said, "You know, when you looked at Jack's chart, it didn't match Jack. The doctors at Siteman would look at it and then look at Jack and say, how is he doing this? How is he doing this?" And everybody said, "Good Lord, where's his strength coming from?" I know. Right here. Can you feel it today? Of course you can. You people are awesome. Our family knows that it was the angels of St. Peter's. I speak for the family when I say that St. Peter's will always be our home parish. Always. Your outpouring of love for Jack was a humbling experience for Jack and us. An incredibly comforting one for us. He never stopped to consider how much it mattered when he consoled you at funerals, how every sacrament, baptism, First Communion, confirmation, weddings, came with a detailed explanation. He always made sure everybody understood everything that was going on and why it was done. And I know you're going to be surprised. He knew the history of it. Always the history. But it was a small, quiet moments. Just you and Jack, present in the moment. This was Jack's love for you. So he was humbled that this outpouring was so amazing that he had to live as long as he could to enjoy it. And enjoy it he did. So, we are gathered here today to say goodbye to Father Jack. We will see you again. We lift him up to God and say, Jesus, we give you Monsignor John Melvin Costello, a parish priest. Amen, St. Peter's.